what it is. Every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government.
Explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors. The number.
I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? And they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds. Because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
یا ایها الذین آمنوا اذا لقیتم جمهور تروریست آمریکا در ادامه رفتار تجاوزکارانه و ناامن‌سازی جهانی تهدید کرده است که اگر ایران تنگه هرمز را باز نکند نیروگاه‌های ایران را هدف قرار خواهد داد. بارها گفته ایم که تنگه هرمز فقط روی دشمن و ترددهای با ضرر بسته است و هنوز به طور کامل بسته نشده است و تحت کنترل هوشمند ماست و عبور و مرور بی‌ضرر تحت ضوابط خاصی متضمن امنیت و منافع ما انجام می شود. لیکن در صورت عملی شدن تهدیدات آمریکا در خصوص نیروگاه‌های ایران بلا فاصله اقدامات تنبیهی انجام خواهد شد. 1. تنگه هرمز به طور کامل بسته می شود و تا نیروگاه‌های تخریب شده ما بازسازی نشوند این تنگه باز نخواهد شد. 2. همه نیروگاه‌های برق، زیرساخت‌های انرژی و فناوری اطلاعات رژیم صهیونیستی به طور گسترده هدف قرار خواهند گرفت. 3. همه شرکت‌های مشابه در منطقه که سهامدار آمریکایی دارند به طور کامل تخریب خواهند شد. 4. نیروگاه‌های برق کشورهای منطقه که میزبان پایگاه آمریکا هستند هدف مشروع خواهند بود. همه چیز برای جهاد بزرگ با هدف نابودی کامل کلیه منافع اقتصادی آمریکا در منطقه غرب آسیا آماده است. ما شروع کننده جنگ نبودیم و اکنون هم شروع کننده نخواهیم بود. اما اگر دشمن آسیبی به نیروگاه‌های ما برساند، ما برای دفاع از کشور و منافع ملت خود دست به هر کاری خواهیم زد و روند بدون توقف نابودسازی اهدافی که بیان شد آغاز خواهد شد و هیچ چیز نمیتواند مانع استمرار عملیات ما برای نابودسازی زیرساخت‌های انرژی، نفت و صنعت آمریکا و همپیمانان او در منطقه شود و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
Hi, I'm Jen.
I'm Doc.
And we have a special guest, Just Jen RX. Jen, you want to tell them where they can find you and what you talk about on your social media?
Yeah, so I'm more so conservative content, calling out hypocrisy, protecting children and women's rights in sports and just our safe spaces in general. And I'm on YouTube. It's Just Jen RX, and I'm on X as well. And on TikTok, I think this is my 7th or 8th account. It's the real Just Jen.
So what's your thoughts on the Iran war?
Well, since invading Iran, the military of Iran has been degraded. And I think that's so important because I don't know how so many Americans forgot 9/11. I never will. It's something that is solidified in my brain for all of my life. I was 21 and not used to waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 21, you're partying, and I woke up. Something woke me up, and I turned on the news, and I watched that second tower get hit, and I knew people that had passed, and yeah. It's just Iran we've been fighting with them for about 40 some years now. And I think it's about time somebody did something, because at this point, I fear the most is the sleeper cells that are already here that were not only let in over the years as refugee seekers, but pretending to be refugee seekers, but also something really stuck with me with the Biden administration, the video of the guy at the southern border. I think it was Eagles Pass, Texas, and he was stopped, and he was Middle Eastern, and they asked him, "Who are you?" And he goes, "You know who I am." And they're like, "No, really, we don't." And he goes, "Well, you'll find out soon enough." And he was Middle Eastern, and it just stuck with me. Something just hit me in the gut when I seen that video, and it stuck with me ever since. So, I think it's a good thing. I think the people of Iran deserve liberation from the Islamic regime. I don't think Islam is compatible with our society at all. And I think that they're not here to assimilate and be kumbaya with any of us. I think they want us dead. And I'm glad. I'm glad that he invaded Iran.
So I'm going to play Trump's tweet because Trump gave Iran 48 hours I'm going to let you guys just hear the tweet. This is what the tweet was.
The tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed and constructive conversations, which, spelled W, are we sure this is real? Are we 157%? Because, you've got to be really, which, spelled W-I-T-C-H, which will continue throughout the week. I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So he will pack up, go home, and hope that nobody ever mentions it again, while simultaneously claiming a glorious victory. Wow. That was 6 minutes ago. So, as I said to you at 10 o'clock this morning, in 6 minutes' time, he could release something that pursues the polar opposite position to the one that's outlined here. But in a normal universe, you would welcome that, particularly given the massively increased understanding of the issues that we have as a consequence of the callers to this program today. In a normal universe, you would welcome that. But this is Donald Trump's world now. We're not in Kansas now, Toto, and therefore you can only say that's good until it isn't. That looks good until he does something else. That looks good until he does a reverse ferret and makes an announcement that pursues the entirely different position. It looks like he's running away, and that has to be welcomed. And you have to probably then, as Keir Starmer, just to remind you how difficult his current situation is, Keir Starmer then has to become complicit in the pretense that Donald Trump has done okay here, because to point out that he's a snivelling idiot who's running away from the problem he caused.
Okay, Slim, you're a big Trump fan. What is your thoughts on what Trump said about Iran and people basically saying that they can't rely on what Trump is saying, information about the war?
I don't think Trump is going to give away any information that people expect him to say. I think Trump is going to be Trump. I don't think he's going to give the opposition any indication on what the moves is going to be made. People keep forgetting how intelligent the man is. You know, he wants to play like he's playing, but he's going to acknowledge you the way he sees fit. He's not going to give you guys the blueprint of what he may do and why he's doing whatever. He's going to tell you what the fuck he feels. Like, he's a real dude. We don't give a damn, and this is where we got to be. Forget all the political shit. These people wanted to kill us for years. Just like Jen said, I agree 1,000%. And this is the man that's stepping up to the plate. It is what it is. I'm an American at the end of the day, and I'm going to stand by my president.
Okay, so this is what Trump said when he was directly asked about the back and forth.
President Iran's foreign ministry says you're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations to end the war.
Well, they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. But we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them. They went, I would say, perfectly. I would say that if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict. And I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great relationships with a lot of them, as you know. A lot of them were surprisingly hit. And I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else. But we have, they're very much in mind in the discussions. So the discussions took place yesterday. They went into yesterday evening. They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal, too.
Do you think Trump is going to make a deal, Doc, and can we trust him saying that he's going to make a deal?
We can't trust Trump to make a deal. Trump is a goofy. Trump went out here and told us that he wasn't going to participate in war in the Middle East. Trump has gone against everything that he's promised on his political. And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians. He's not keeping his promises. So Trump isn't better than any other politician. He's become the same people that he sought to replace. He's become all of those things. He's become a con artist, a politician. He's become a man who can't keep his word. He couldn't spell witch right. How are we going to trust him to disseminate us correct information? The presidential account can't spell witch right. You know what I mean? Like, and even bigger than that, it's become this idea that these people, you could lead them to water and tell them it wasn't wet, and if Trump told them it wasn't poison, they still drink it, because so many people on both sides, the left and the right, have just become loyalists rather than having any independence or any independent thought, period. It has become crazy. So no, I can't trust Trump to tell us the truth because he know he could lead sheep any way he want. So why would I tell him the truth?
I'm gonna surprise the right on here because Trump said he likes CNN.
You've deployed ICE agents to American airports. Newsmax, sir. You've deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a very good job.
You deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a good job. Did you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
What exactly do you want from
You
these
believe in
talks?
taking CNN over Newsmax? You believe it?
What exactly are you looking for in these talks, Mr. President?
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it.
Jen, we got to hear your response on this, but Slim definitely, because he always is saying, don't trust CNN. Slim, Trump says that he likes CNN, so over Newsmax, how do you feel about that?
That's what you heard. That's the problem.
I didn't hear it either. I heard exactly what he heard. I know exactly where he's going.
Yeah, that's what you heard. What basically he said was, I'm taking CNN over Newsmax. Can you believe that? That's not saying I like CNN.
Exactly.
And you guys always take his words and try, hey, he said this, but he meant that. You got to understand Trump. And when you don't understand Trump, you don't like him. That's what it is. He's not going to follow the narratives of, as Mr. Doc would say, the sheep, because that's what we used to call y'all. And to be honest with you, Trump is the only president that's done everything he said he was going to do, except for this one thing. So I would agree with the war.
You could never call me Slim because I ain't on no side. I'm in it
just
for
saying,
myself, Slim. I'm independent, baby. I'm in it for myself.
Hey, I salute all y'all independent after Kamala people. I salute y'all. Y'all only went independent after, you know. But I still love you. At the end of the day, man, the man must do his job, and y'all never let him do his job. And you're trying to critique him on everything he does do. So when one thing doesn't work out, when what you guys expected from when he was supposed to be in jail, from the 34 felonies all the way till now, as long as there's a slight little bit of information that he may fail, you guys are going to run with that shit. And then when it doesn't work, you find something else, and then you go back to the old shit. It's crazy, yo.
How many times has talk to text failed any one of us here? I'm telling you, I look like a babbling idiot sometimes when I talk to text and I want to get a post out quick. You know, it's failed me so many times.
We don't all have the greatest country in the world backing us to give us publicists. We're just regular people. This is the presidential account. He has a publicist, the best in the world, we should think. Also, Slim, that is not the only thing that he's failed on.
Give me one. Give me another one. Give me another one.
We're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it.
Oh, my God. You guys.
What you say? What you say? You say, give me another one. You see that? You say,
my bad for saying you guys.
I could keep going, Slim. I could keep going.
No, here's the thing: the Democrats
he has tried to keep a lot of his promises, though. I don't want to bash Trump because he's not any different than any other politician. He has tried to keep like the deportation and stuff like that. I think he's tried to keep some of those promises, but like any other politician, he's lied and not kept some of them. And I'm gonna criticize him for that because I'm American.
Well, look at how many of his orders have got through. I mean, look at Trump compared to the previous presidents, Joe Biden. There was not so many injunctions with President Biden or like our open border, like Congress, nobody stepped in for that. No rogue judges either. He wasn't getting sued by this judge or that judge left and right like Trump is. He can't even get anything done when we have these judges playing activists instead of worrying about the American people and keeping our neighborhood safe.
All of that is the cost of doing business. Don't promise it if you can't deliver.
It's not his fault, though. It's not. That's not his fault.
He didn't have to promise it if he couldn't deliver it.
I want to get y'all.
I gotta hold him accountable.
I'm gonna say this right here because I want to know what y'all think. Trump said that he can't give out information because he might get deleted.
Who stop speaking with, Mr. President?
A top person. Don't forget. We've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. We've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the son.
Are these direct?
We have not heard from the son. Every once in a while you'll see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
Again,
Mr. President, I know you've deployed.
because I don't want him to be killed. Okay, I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President, you've deployed.
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. Nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country. But perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
Mr. President,
I think he might have been talking about Ayatollah and not himself. Jen, what was your thoughts on what he said?
Well, I think given the fact that so many peaceful protesters were slaughtered, that's some big shoes to fill. When the Ayatollah is taken down, and that was the man responsible for ordering the hit on 40,000 peaceful protesters that were against the Islamic regime. These women can't drive, they can't vote, they can't wear whatever they want. They have no voices, and I think, in all honesty, I think whoever fills those shoes, it's just not a good look. It's probably going to be one of the most hated people on the planet, and I think that's what he was talking about.
That makes sense. Trump says the war in Iran is not his fault. It's Pete Hegseth's fault.
Then unfortunately, I called Pete, I called General Kane, I called a lot of our great people. We have great people, and I said, let's talk. We got a problem in the Middle East. We have a country known as Iran that for 47 years has been just a purveyor of terror, and they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60 is no end, or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up, and you said, let's do it, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. So we are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that.
So, Doc, you're a veteran. Is it the commander-in-chief's fault, Trump, or is it Pete Hegseth's fault, who's over the military?
It'll surprise Democrats to know that I think probably 20% of this is Trump's fault, actually having to go into Iran, because America had injunctions against Iran, and I believe it was South Korea had about $9 billion of Iranian money for oil reserves that we wouldn't give to them because we made the idea that they would shut down their nuclear program. Democrats came up with some way to give them the money or whatever it was like that. And then, we find ourselves in this position. But my problem with Trump is that he knew that taking the office, you know what I'm saying? So don't say you're not going to have war in the Middle East. Say, hey, we got something, be honest. But, man, who the fuck would give Pete Hegseth any goddamn time? Biden was auto-pinned, so we don't know if he really did it, Jan.
It's true.
So who would give Pete Hegseth the authority to persuade you to go to the Middle East? I think all these dudes who be in office, if they want to go to the Middle East, the first people who should have to sign up should be their sons. We should take their firstborn sons and sign them all up, and then we'll see how bad you want to go. With Donald Jr. out there trying to duck and hide. Donald Jr. ain't built like that.
He's too old.
So Trump attacked Mueller, who investigated Trump for what Republicans will say the Russia hoax.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. 2 years ago, the acting Attorney General asked me to serve as special counsel, and he created the special counsel's office. The appointment order directed the office to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. This included investigating any links or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign.
So Slim, Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. Was that appropriate?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I condemn that for sure.
Okay, for sure. So this is what his lawyer, Trump lawyer, had to say about it.
And how do you rectify the fact that, you know, we're seeing this kind of response from the president, someone you worked for, and what does it say about where we are as a country when families at their most vulnerable state? Here it is on your screen. Basically, the president saying it's good that Robert Mueller died.
So that's the type of person that President Trump is. He's a demented narcissist, you know, seriously hates anybody who stands in opposition to him, has reworked the Justice Department into a revenge machine, and, you know, rules the country in a very authoritarian manner, with the assistance of a cowardly cabinet and even more cowardly Republicans in Congress. And that's tragedy. That's something we're all having to deal with. But I think, you know, rather than focusing on, you know, the despicable response of a demented president, that we should really focus on the hero that we lost today, and ideally gain some inspiration and some strength that we can bring out on No King's Day when we stand up again for our country.
Ty Cobb, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We are sorry for the loss of your friend, and we send our condolences as well, of course, to Bob Mueller's family.
Please allow me to send my condolences to Bob's family and friends.
Jen, you're the other. Are you MAGA? Yeah, you're MAGA. So what?
Oh, yeah.
So is, you know, Trump does all these antics. Was that okay, or was that too far?
You know what? September 10th really changed me as a person, honestly. And when I see how they reacted when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, that ain't nothing compared to what they did to Charlie Kirk. I met the man before. He was a sweet gentleman and a loving father, a loving husband, and he loved Jesus more than anything and was so eloquent. He never spoke illy of people. He never denigrated people. He never dehumanized anybody. He gave everybody a fair shot. He only spoke with eloquence and grace and with statistics and facts. And he never was hateful. He never had to say anything hateful. And how they reacted to that and how they're reacting to President Trump saying that, I think he is always in 4D chess mode. And I think this was a let's see how they react if I just say this stupid shit. Was it stupid? Yeah. I don't wish ill will or death on anybody, regardless of politics, regardless of what they've done to me. Death is permanent, but I think that's exactly what it is.
That's real. I didn't think about it like that.
How many people in public office spoke illy of Charlie Kirk when he passed?
A lot.
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar called him a terrorist. Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, she's, you know, it's not even supposed to be here. We can't count her.
Well, AOC did. A lot of Democrats did. They interrupted moments of silence. It was horrible.
Well, you brought up Charlie. So I'm going to play the video what Charlie Kirk said about Robert Mueller.
First Trump term, they took a lot of it away from him. At this moment during Trump 1, we had Bob Mueller lurking around because of all of this fake Russian information. The most precious thing a president has is time. And they took time away from President Donald Trump. Every day he was up against the wall with these fake and unsubstantiated and deceitful rumors that were being thrown at him. And he was barely able to pass a legislative agenda, let alone be able to have an attorney general of his choosing, because of this fabricated story by our own intel agencies. And so I think we need more than apologies here, Sean. I hope that we exhaust every possible judicial and potential indictment that could be done here, because this is a serious thwarting of our constitutional system. They say that we are a threat to democracy. What they did to Donald Trump, what they did to our country, what they did after the 2016 election is the greatest threat to democracy that we have seen in the last 50 years. And I think it's time that people start to be held accountable, and justice is more than warranted in this circumstance.
So, Doc, did Trump deserve revenge since he feel like Mueller was trying to destroy his life?
Absolutely not. You're the president of the free world. The office comes with a certain amount of decorum. And do we think that all of these guys who are playing this game like each other or they don't dislike each other? Of course we don't. We know that they dislike each other. We know that they have disdain for each other. But you don't have to post that on the internet. You know what I mean? Trump could have sat in with whoever it is he confide in, and you know when he being and having his Trump would have his regular uncandid talk on camera. So he probably got somewhere else where he probably just letting off wild though, if that's what he, you know, the type of stuff he said on camera. But he could have had it there. That's not, you know, that's not the right way to do it. The man he's gone, so he can't hear you. So the only people you hurt now is his wife, his kids, his family, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think it would be fair for the president to demonize Trump if Trump had an untimely demise. I think the respect should be shown for the office, the job, and just for a man who no longer here. You know what I mean? His kids got to grow up, raise their kids, their grandfather. You don't know what you like with people being so one-sided on these parties these days. You don't know where his grandkids are going to school, what's going on there. You know what I mean? Like you put just other people who suffer the consequences of these type of comments, because it's going to be made a worldwide thing when it comes from the office of the president, when it comes from a governor, when it comes from a senator. None of them should be doing it. If you have disdain for someone, you should if they pass, you should say, hey, rest in peace. I wish the family the best. That should be it. If you don't have nothing nice to say, mama said don't say none at all.
So I want to get all our thoughts on this because now they have ICE at the airports.
Time. Okay. Go to Terminal 8. I'll make sure you don't come back again. Go.
Sir, Terminal 8. Terminal 8.
Jen, I'm pretty sure you've seen the craziness at the airports. What's your thoughts on this, and what's your thoughts about ICE replacing TSA?
Well, I think President Trump gave them ample warning to reopen the government and fund TSA workers. I think it's great that Elon Musk said he would pay the salaries of them while this stupid Democrat shutdown is going on. And I think that that's exactly what he told them he would do. If you do not reopen the government and fund TSA and DHS, we are definitely going to send the ICE agents in there. And he says what he means.
Absolutely. Slim, I'll play a little clip of on X of what ICE was doing at the airports, because I think this is what people kind of concerned about as far as, you know, immigration and everything going on with airports. But let me share my screen. Let me pull it up.
Leave her alone! Fucking what are you doing? Leave her alone! What the hell are you doing?
I hope you're so fucking proud of yourselves, you fucking assholes. You're on video now, too. Yeah. Shame on you. You fucking un-American piece of shit. Fuck you.
Slim, do you think this should be happening at the airports, or you think like ICE should just do warrants at homes? What's your thought as a MAGA person?
My first thought would be, I want to see the beginning of the video that put this person in that situation, because they always try to make it seem like ICE is just walking up, grabbing people that look like they don't belong here and just wrestling them to the ground. There is an altercation. There's an interaction before this. And that's why I don't like to comment on these things, because that's where we lose a whole lot of control. But what's going on with him putting them there, I understand. At the end of the day, he's focusing on what could be transpiring through this. You know, it's easy to sneak through an airport if you trying to do something wrong, if the airports are in chaos to the situation. So that's a smart move. You see what I'm saying? So not only that, they bashed Elon Musk when they did the situation with Doge for finding all the funds But I don't hear nobody saying from that side that's a good thing what Elon is doing. I don't hear nobody saying, damn, that's pretty hot what he's doing to take care. Nobody's gonna say that. But they was on his ass when he was finding money, when he was running with Trump. But then I've heard people say, oh, he's the richest man. Why don't he do something for the people? Now he's doing something for the people. Let's see if he get his flowers.
Definitely not one.
Oh, my bad. Did you have something to say, Jen?
Yeah. You know, going to the airport of all places, if you are wanted by any law enforcement agency, is probably the stupidest thing you could do. It's like going to court, showing up, knowing you have a warrant for your arrest. And undocumented immigrants, did you know that they don't need real IDs, but we do to fly? I think it's very unfair. Very unfair. That's all.
Okay, so people were saying that it wasn't Trump's idea, that Trump stole it from TV. This is what he said when he was asked.
Thank you very much.
Whose idea was that to put ice in the airport?
We're dealing really.
Whose idea was it?
Mine. That was mine.
Can I ask you?
That was like the paperclip. You know the story of the paperclip? 182 years ago, a man discovered the paperclip. It was so simple. And everybody that looked at it say, why didn't I think of that? ICE was my idea. I called, first person I called was Tom Homan. I said, what do you think? He said, I think it's great. Then I saw today there was some masks on. I didn't think the masks were appropriate. I put out a statement and I asked them, would it be possible to take off the mask? Because they should wear a mask when they're dealing with the murderers and the thugs let into our country.
You said there's many points of agreement with Iran right now.
Many.
So, Doc, was it Trump's idea, and does it matter whose idea it was for the ICE to go be TSA?
Nah, it doesn't matter whose idea it was. He sits at the top. Information and decisions come from him and get disseminated down. So if it happens, he made it happen, or he at least had nodded it and gave it the okay. It's his administration to run. But my partner told me it took him 12 hours to get through TSA. So shit, if they arrested these people, goddamn, y'all need to be training and practicing goddamn how to send this shit through the little scanner or something. I ain't what I said. I said, hey, arrest whoever you go to arrest. But brother, we could speed this up. I seen 3 or 4 of them standing there. I'll never see TSA standing there like I seen them ICE dudes standing there, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Cleveland, man, they always stand around.
You gotta get. No, those dudes were just standing. They weren't standing in the security area though. They were just standing in like the terminal. The TSA dudes be at the security area at least standing around. And also, I like that he told him to take the mask off. If he assumes that wearing a mask for the raids is a good thing, I don't agree with that either. But taking it off when you know doing like a public service thing type interaction with the public, I think that was a good idea for him. I think that should be looked upon favorably because TSA isn't wearing a mask. You know what I mean? Like you're not occupying in that realm at the moment. So I think it's good. But yeah, he should get credit for it. I mean, I don't think it's speeding up goddamn TSA, but whatever.
For sure. So a MAGA supporter went viral because he said he tricked MAGA and it was all a grift.
Scammed MAGA, I scammed MAGA for 30 bands. I got the money and ran. Charlie Kirk is dead now. Charlie Kirk is dead now. So we clap our hands and we do the money dance. Trump's a homosexual. Trump is a faggot for beefing with Iran. Why you trying to bomb Iran?
Okay, Slim, this guy went viral because he said his family didn't like him, that he didn't have a Thanksgiving, and that everybody cut him off because he was a black MAGA supporter. So you, someone who's had issues with people talking about you being a MAGA supporter, seeing this guy basically say it was all a grift and that he tricked MAGA to get money, what's your feelings on that?
If he only made 30 bands, he possibly lying. Because if you trick MAGA, you're going to get a whole lot more than 30 bands. Because MAGA supporters are, we'll take care of our people is what I'm saying. But 30 bands ain't shit. I think he would have made more money going against him. That's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? So he's doing it clickbait. That's clout. I mean, if he did it, hey, kudos. I mean, I would say do it again.
Oh, I can't now. Cat's out of the bag. He shot himself in the foot. What an idiot.
Bro, he quit at 30. First off,
that's what
he definitely ain't taking no notes from the Somalis. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
he's learning, not leering.
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy. 30?
That's
I would
more
try to
crazy.
run. If he'd have said 30 mil, I'd be like, oh, he said
Now you got
$1 million
my
or
attention.
something.
Oh.
30,000, like,
And he
brother,
making a dance about it.
that ain't a livable wage, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you see what I mean? Celebrating like the death of Charlie Kirk. That's so gross. I don't celebrate the death of anybody. My son's father just died, and he put me through hell, and for 7 years it was bad. But I didn't want him to die, and if I would have seen anybody celebrating his death, I'd be in jail. I think people have become so cold and so calloused, and they demonize one another. For politicians, none of them know we exist. None of them are going to come to our funeral. No, it's sad anymore. I don't like it. I want to go back to the 90s where no one gave a shit who you voted for. No one cared about your skin color. No one cared about who you slept with. No one cared. As long as it wasn't kids and dogs and shit. We didn't care.
Yep.
And today is just so bad. Like, that was gross to me. You want to scam somebody? Okay, then that's on your conscience. And I think what a lot of people, like with the walkaway stories they see, like if they leave the Democrat Party, I think a lot of people see a warm welcome into MAGA no matter who they are. And I think it really chaps the ass of a lot of people on the left because they claim to be the party of love and tolerance when they're anything but. And, if he scammed people, that's a horrible way to live. And it's lying, it's cheating, it's deceiving, and it's stealing, and he's never going to be able to pull that grift again. So I hope his 15 seconds were worth it, because that's going to be on his conscience forever. And he literally risked his family for that. That's foul. That's foul. You don't do that to family.
For sure.
If I'm scamming like the Somalis, though, you can have my conscience. Them boys was running it up. I'm talking about to the sky.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's a scam. What he did was just got a GoFundMe.
I didn't even hear about it. I didn't even hear about it till now. So
I'm gonna play this clip of Bangino getting harassed by an ex-cop.
You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot. You're a pedophile protector. Fact. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Yikes.
Doc, did he deserve to get harassed?
I don't completely know him. So I don't know if he deserved to be harassed. But one thing I don't believe in doing is I don't believe in disrespecting another group to make your point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a white person called me the N-word, I told you, I wouldn't go back and retort and call them the C-word, because I'd be disrespecting white folks that I'm cool with. And I ain't cool with that. So the language he used got to be, like you could have disrespected them in another manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could be disrespecting anybody, you know what I'm saying, when you talk like that. But you know what I'm saying? If you felt like that, if you feel so strongly, you should have walked up and slapped him. You know what I'm saying? What you scared? Are you scared to go to jail? Everybody be having these ideals and these beliefs, and they ain't willing to go to jail for it or die for it or put their life on the line. And that'd be my problem with it. If you're not willing to go up there and go to jail or slap him or make your point, you should probably stay at home, brother. That ain't to say to go do violence, but if you're not willing to, you know what I'm saying? Because what you're doing, the police here, what do you think is gonna go on? You gonna get a clip for the internet? You know what I'm saying? People are shake ass for likes and views. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so as a grown man, I got kids. I'm not going out and spending my time like that. You know what I'm saying? So if he he got the time to do it, you want to harass him, go ahead. It's a free country, but it's just not what I would do.
Dan Bangino, he was in the Secret Service and he was in the Trump administration at some point, and he had a podcast on Fox News. But this was his response to that guy approaching him.
Show up at MAGA clubs and cause chaos. They had a group of them show up this weekend after this event calling people, forgive me for the language, folks in the show, but screaming and cussing, calling people, by the way, not just me and others, calling attendees as even faggots and others. These are guys telling you they're part of your crew. This actually happened.
So, Jen, you were basically saying you want to go back to the 90s. You don't want people to have all this division and people arguing anymore. And it seems like it's a lot of, hatred pushed towards MAGA because of so much controversy stuff going on. So how do you feel as a content creator, people getting harassed or insulted for, supporting MAGA?
I think that I grew up in an era where we didn't care how you voted. It wasn't even on a topic of discussion. It really wasn't. Like, maybe in passing, like, hey, are you voting? Oh, you're not? Okay, cool. Are you? Yeah. Who are you voting for? I'm voting for Obama, or I'm voting for this one. It was just nonchalant. Do I think that people deserve to be given death threats or doxxed or their children harassed and cancer wished on you? No, I don't care if you're on the left or the right. I think it's repulsive anymore. Now I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and born and raised. And like Doc said, I don't allow the keyboard war. I don't play that. If I want to say it, I'm going to say it to somebody's face. And I'm the type. I've been to prison before. I'm not afraid to go back. And I really genuinely think if you want to say it, you say it with your heart. And hey, you don't need like this though. Let me get a clip for the internet. I'm not gonna sit there and argue with you. Throw down.
For sure. So, Jay, you brought up a good point. This is what happened between a coach and a player.
This is just a short time ago.
Slim, you really into sports? Your nephew in the NFL, is that appropriate? If Tomlin would have got your nephew face like that, would you been cool with that?
I mean, some coaches are passionate about the team, and some teams respect their coaches to that level. I mean, when you out there, I'm sure everything is black and you have to focus, but passion takes over at any moment, bro. You know, when you really passionate about something, your reaction is null and void. It's just what it is.
So this is what the player had to say about it.
Understands I'm a competitor at heart, and I've told her this before, and I'll keep on telling her this until forever. I love to be coached hard, and that's what she does with me every single day. And really what that was a regroup moment for myself, and her telling me she believed in me, because sometimes that's really all you need to hear to get back out there. You know, it's a long game, lots of ups and downs, and I feel like after that conversation, that's when I really went back out and just did what I had to do for my team in that moment. So I'm forever appreciative of that.
Thanks. Doc, what you think?
Man, I had a AAU coach when I was young who used to curse us out like dogs, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about crazy. And everybody parent was in the stand and they ain't said nothing. You know what I'm saying? My mama ain't said nothing. He let me play on this team for free because I could get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? He paid my dues for me. What I'm supposed to say? You know what I'm saying? But you spend so much time with these people, like, and it's a lot of time, like, you know, they genuinely, most coaches, if they're good coaches, they care about you, they care about your family. You know, y'all have an understanding. This is a 30 seconds of the hours and months and years you spend around each other and together. And a bad 30 seconds can't erase everything else that they've done. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just might need to hear something in a tone and, you know, and it's fiery that you want to hear. But when they trying to get something done, you know what I mean? It might not be time. It might not be enough time for the pleasantries and, you know, saying it to you a certain way. So, but as long as they know what's up, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't cool with that, hey, transfer out and go somewhere else.
So, Jen, this was a female basketball team. And, you know, it's big with, you know, men and women sports and anything, everything like this. Was that too masculine? Was that too aggressive? Was that okay?
No, I don't think it was aggressive at all. I think, I needed a little bit of context before because I've never seen the clip. I didn't know what was going on at first. It took me a second to kind of immerse myself in it and see what was going on. And I seen the appreciation in her player and the fire that it lit under her to get back in the game and get her head back in the game and get right in that right headspace to where she had to be to perform better. I personally don't get into women's sports. I enjoy men's sports better because they're better. Some women would take that offensively. They are very emotional, but it was really refreshing to see that player not so easily offended or coddled. We shouldn't be so soft. We need thicker skin these days, but I think it was a great thing. I think it was great that she showed the love back to her coach and she let everyone know, hey, look, my coach said she appreciated me. And I think that was, and that she believed in me. That was really impactful, I think. Really good.
For sure. So we're going to play our final clip of the night. This is the father who lost his son in the Iran war. This is what he had to say about Trump.
Yeah.
They had no media there, which was the family's wish and stuff. But the president was there and the defense secretary was there. And I thought I heard you say you were all the families were in their own area.
And there were also a myriad of generals, lieutenant colonels, high-ranking officials, senators, congressmen. I can't remember all their names.
So when the president and the defense secretary came up to you, what did you talk about? I mean,
I was the first person, right out the bat, looked President Trump in the eye and told him who I was. He said, yes, Mr. Simmons, I know who you are. I said, Tyler Simmons was my only son. He paid the ultimate price. And much to my pleasant surprise, I saw emotion in the president's face. Because usually when you see him on television, he's just being the stern leader. I get that. But his humanity showed in that moment. He said, I can respect the man that can look the president in the face and tell him exactly what he thinks. I think it's one of the few times that he had to look up. Because actually, President Trump is taller than I thought. Just expressed his condolences and thankful for Tyler's service. Because that's all I wanted the focus to be, was Tyler. And the premise of all them coming was for them to give their condolences to the family.
If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell to know when we go live. Slim, what's your final thoughts?
Oh man, great show. Jen, great guest as well. Yeah, man, I just think that we all need to figure out how to really unify this thing, man, because the division is crucial. We're being divided by manipulation, if you ask me. We're being divided by misinformation. And I think unity is really the only way out, and we never really focus on that. We're always, focusing on how to downplay, this and downplay that. And I don't know. I just think we need to focus on something else that's going to better us as a people, So Man Cave, man, each and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Peace.
For sure. Just Jen RS, you were a great guest. Thank you for coming. What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, I would love to piggyback off of Slim. I think in a country that is called the United States of America, we're more divided by the most trivial things. And if only we could start humanizing one another again, I think it would be a monumental leap in uniting America again. Like the clip that you had just played, humanize President Trump. And I think that, no matter who our leader is that there's 308 million of us in this country. you know, I can't for the life of me hate somebody who hasn't directly wronged me, and I just don't understand how we have come to where we are today. I appreciate you having me on. I had a great time with you guys. It was a very great, insightful conversation with all of us, and I think it was very productive, especially since we don't all have the same thoughts and opinions. I think I hope that this podcast does very good for you, and I hope that you invite me back, because I would love to come back.
We'll definitely have you back, Just Jen. Doc, what's your final thoughts?
Oh man, that guy lost his only son. Man, that's a fear of mine. I think that's why I hate the Iran war so much, because I seen it, so I know what'll happen. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't willing to give my son to that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's dope that, you know, he did go and it wasn't no media, and he looked. You know, a lot of people can't look the parents of some of these soldiers in the face and tell them, you know what I'm saying? You know, you lost your son because of something I decided on. So that's major points. I might not agree with, you know, going to war or doing those things, but to go look a man in the eye and say, yeah, you know, I decided this and it cost you your son, and I'm eternally sorry for that. But you know, he did a service for his country. Everybody over there is doing a service for his country, their country, whether or not you agree. When you sign a paper, we show up. I was an 18-year-old kid and I had no idea. But man, just take care of your kids. We'll have to figure it out best we know how. I can't go to no other countries. I love America too much. So we're going to have to do something around here to fix it, you know. So, you know, man cave. Y'all have a good one.
For sure. Thank you, Just Jen RX, for coming. Thank you, Doc and Slim. This was a great show. We definitely have to have Just Jen come back. This is important that we have people from all sides, different beliefs, all types of philosophies, where we can talk, have a productive discussion, and it doesn't get too out of control and everybody's cool at the end. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Man cave.